Your average American teenage boy. This young male generally keeps to himself, hangs out with the guys, generally submissive and shy, perhaps nervous around girls. He certainly does not go out of his way in order to make conversation. In turn, the average American teenage boy comes off as quiet and timid.
Fucking piece of shit, did you see that?
Of course, it is important to include not just the 10 to 20-year-old male demographic plays these online games. However, for the purposes of this research, that is who we will be discussing. This group of young males has been drawn towards a new generation in gaming. Not too long ago, there were only video games that you could play by yourself or with a friend if they were in the same room using the same console. This wave of time brought some solitary gamers. There have even been certain games where you can play with people on different consoles in different areas, but with no way to communicate with them, only play. With the new social media of online gaming, there is a new attribute gamers are collecting: social skills. This is not to say all gamers are what people consider to be nerds or awkward, but everyone could benefit from advancement in communication. Gears of War 3 and other games in the Gears of War series have been very successful in their combination of gameplay and socialization for the player.
Gears of War 3 is a third-person shooter game that pits a human group called the Coalition of Ordered Governments against an alien group called the Locust. The most popular game mode for multiplayer is called Team Deathmatch, and the rules for that is each team has a pool of 20 lives with respawns until you run out of lives, and the first team to eliminate the other team that many times wins.
Online gaming, Xbox 360, Gears of War 3, an online war game, a place where many boys go to not only kill their enemies, but bond with friends.
I like online gaming because I get to play with friends, and I get to brag about blowing someone's head off or complain about being cheated out of a kill. And it gives me a chance to also talk to friends about life and school and other things like that.
However, many of these players have not only communicated with their friends, but people they are playing around the country and world as well. Most of our subjects discuss the wish to play in their free time or when they are bored. Several people will play with others they do not know if they are looking to fill that free time, and none of their friends are online. The security of Xbox 360 and the ability to report inappropriate or shifty players gives people a chance to meet and play with others they never would have met in real life. Because they are entering the situation in a comfortable environment, doing something they already know they enjoy, the capability for a community to form is much easier. The communication with friends also provides a community to further relationships with people you already know.
Or we'll just talk about schoolwork, who's doing what, what's happening at what college. Anything else, we'll just joke around with each other, just make fun of each other as much as possible. Just being guys.
Many players learn how to play this game in a private mode where they can play by themselves. They learn the missions, learn how to fight, kill, hide, and use their strategies wisely against robot players. Through the danger of the game, the mission itself, and the feeling of success after a good win, the player begins to think critically to strategize and be a fighter. Later, combine that with social networking of the game, and leadership skills begin to develop. Our subjects all showed signs of not only bonding and working with their teammates to achieve victory, but also an overall sense of leadership on their teams. If it is true to assume most players will eventually adopt this attribute, it will certainly help in the real world when it comes to careers and their role in all relationships in their lives.
I'll go left, you go right. Go, go, go!
We spawn back on our side. There's one coming up to us. I'm coming down. One has torque, watch out.
For me, it's more comfortable talking over Xbox because it's less formal.
I'm a little more shy in person with my friends, but on the Xbox, since I'm behind a controller and mic, I'm a little bit more vulgar and more explicit, just making fun of kids who suck online or just goofing around with my friends. But I'm a little more shy in person. I'm a little bit laid back and more polite.
Online gaming gives me a comfortable forum for interaction and conversation with people that I wouldn't normally get if I was like texting someone or calling, or obviously if I was playing by myself.
Unfortunately, as our players expressed, they are not quite as open in the real world as in their games. They are more timid and less willing to speak up. There are really one of two ways this can go: a lifetime of hiding behind these games with a handful of others, or using the communication learned in the game in your real-life relationships. To accomplish the latter, the obvious must occur: a moderation of use of this secondary communication. No matter how advanced social networking may become, in-person communication will always be primary and necessary. If you limit the use of these secondary communications, the necessity to communicate otherwise will arise, and in-person communication will be used. However, we cannot eliminate the use of these online games entirely, because the community and leadership gained provides the knowledge for furthering other relationships if approached properly. A moderation of online gaming will provide the lessons of communication and necessity to build relationships elsewhere in one's life. Perhaps not all gamers have this submissive issue, but it is a common feeling, and careful use of online games like Gears of War 3 can expand the horizon of these players.